thank you so much for supporting the show by listening in. I really am super excited for you to get into this episode because honestly, I think life is hard. Just to get through the day is a struggle. And it's even more of a struggle when you're, unclear. Things are cloudy. And so I'm doing a bonus episode for you because I know that this will be a great way for you to start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Napoleon Hill once said, "Your subconscious mind continuously works while you're awake and while you're asleep. Your subconscious never rests." And he's right. Your subconscious never rests and is always on duty because it controls your heartbeat, your blood circulation, and digestion. And if you like this episode so far, hit that subscribe button for me. And don't miss another episode. Scratch your own itch. Alright, that was a little cheesy. I know, I understand. But please let me know on what's working in this episode and what's not. And email me, Logan at LoganTylerNelson.com to just to give me some review on what you like about this show and what you don't like about it. But I do want to get back to the matter at hand, and that is creating some more clarity in your life. Because honestly, if you don't have clarity and you're trying to drive a bus without a destination, you're just going to keep on driving and not get your destination. It's like the difference of someone that's running in a treadmill and they're running for so long that they forget why they're even running. It's hard to keep going when you don't have a reason why. So this reason of why you're doing what you're doing is so critical. What happens though is that when you tap into your why, you start working on your subconscious and things start to work for you instead of against you. What happens though is that your subconscious level influences what happens on your conscious level. Is, in other words, what goes on internally, even unconsciously. Conscious level is this thing that happens for your subconscious mind that will translate into physical equivalent by the most direct and practical method available. So let me take this down and tackle it for you. If your goal is to tap into your subconscious, you've got to allow yourself some times during the day where you just rest, where you're not working on something. And this could be just setting 5 minutes of just not doing anything. This could be taking a nap. That allows you to tap into the subconscious. Additionally, you want to tap into the subconscious and unlock those connections and ultimately find the solutions to the problems and the projects that you have. So that's why I talk about this 10 minutes or the 5 minutes of just kind of going to sleep and resting. But Thomas Edison, he once said that you don't go to sleep without a request to your subconscious. So it's a common practice of mine to go to sleep with a question. What am I going to work on while I'm sleeping? What am I going to work on while I'm resting? And it helps if you actually write this down on paper. If you write this in your phone, or if you think about this question, it's not as practical to just kind of let it work. You got to really write it down. You got to materialize it. So ask yourself a question. Take a few moments before you go to bed to meditate on and write down the things that you want to accomplish. So you got to ask yourself those specific quality questions. And then after you wake up, it's shown that research will actually say this, that your brain starts to work. Specifically, the prefrontal cortex is the most active and readily creative immediately following sleep. Your subconscious mind has been loosely mind wandering. It's been working, but it's just been wandering, making contextual and temporal connections. Creativity, after all, is making connections between different parts of the brain. In a recent interview with Tim Ferriss and Josh Waitzkin, I listened to their podcast, and Josh Waitzkin is the man after I've listened to this, because he is the master, I would say, at knowing how to learn. If you're wondering who he is the one and only chess prodigy and Tai Chi world champion. And he explains his morning routine to tap into his subconscious. And one of the things he does is, while he is sleeping, unlike most people that are between the ages of 18 to 44, they check their smartphones. But what you don't want to do is check your smartphone. You want to actually stay awake and, without grabbing your phone, stay away from your phone. Go to your journal where you wrote that question and look at that question and see if this question is still relevant for you, if you're still trying to solve this. And once you look in your journal, you can now crystallize if this still is a problem with yourself right now. And if you're not an experienced journal, that's fine. But this idea of at least thought dumping may be something that you want to do. And this idea of actually going to sleep with this question and then waking up to see if it's solved yet could be something that you want to start taking analysis of. Because if you don't measure it, it won't be managed, as this podcast will talk about. But I like to often take my ideas, for example, with my ideas for articles, ideas for podcasts, and just brain dump them onto a journal. And I put it just under the section in my journal, ideas. And I go through and I look at all those ideas and I go, what's relevant in speaking to me now? Because this is when things can actually start becoming more clear. And that is just by doing this one simple trick. Brain dumping before you go to bed for 3 minutes, and brain dumping before you check your phone. And so that means looking and seeing if that problem that you had is now solved. So if that itch that you have is now scratched, ultimately. So anyways, just to wrap it all up, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to even join us today. I really appreciate it. I want to leave a little bit of encouragement with you. To just know that, hey, I'm listening. I'm listening to any review you give me. I'm also taking time to do more Q&A, because it's just been so helpful for myself. Because sometimes these questions that come to me, I don't like to give answers, as I promoted my last episode about giving advice. I don't like to give answers. I like to ask quality questions. But one listener did recently write in on a review, which I will read off to you right now, and she said the following: This show will help you see yourself and your life in a new way. It will help you grow and develop. It's very insightful. And that was given from C. Nelson 30. So I really appreciate, I think it's Nielsen, my apologies. C. Nielsen 30. And I really appreciate the love so much. So yeah, leave a review and get a chance to get your review read out loud. The emails that I get sometimes are a little too personal. But if you send an email and you say, hey, I'd love for this to be read on the show, I will read out the question and try to answer it with another question, just so it helps you propel an answer. Because sometimes the very questioning of it will give you the answer. Please don't take another second out of your day to not love yourself. And if you could hit that subscribe button, that would be the best compliment ever. And if you found this informative, or if you think that you have a friend that needs to hear this and get some clarity in their life, please share it. And I would love to get in conversation with you about how you can start scratching your own itch. And don't ever forget, you matter and you're enough.